Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Story Crafternoon. Taste is the DIY Dinosaur Tracks. But before we start, let's learn a little bit more about our dinosaur friends. Dinosaurs walked the earth for more than 180 million years, but not all types of dinosaurs lived at the same time. For example, tens of millions of years passed between the era of the Stegosaurus and that of the Tyrannosaurus rex. By comparison, modern humans, or Homo sapiens, have existed for about 200,000 years. Dinosaurs came in many shapes and sizes. Compsognathus was as small as a chicken. One of the largest dinosaurs, Patagonian, weighed in at nearly 70 tons, heavier than 10 African elephants. New dinosaur species are still being discovered, so one day someone, perhaps you, may find one that's even larger. People have been finding fossils for thousands of years, but scientists did not realize that they were from prehistoric animals until about the 1800s. Paleontologists have discovered not only fossilized bones and teeth, but also the remains of dinosaur eggs, skin, feathers, footprints, and even poop. All these fossils give clues about how dinosaurs looked and lived, but new discoveries constantly change our understandings. For example, researchers now think many, perhaps most dinosaurs had feathers, even if they didn't fly. Now, let's make some dinosaur tracks of our own. So first things first, you're going to need some flour and salt. Make sure they're equal ratios, so depending on how much you want to make, so it's a cup of one, a cup of the other, cup and a half of one, cup and a half of the other. Next things, you're going to add water. Now you're going to add water as you go, because you don't want this to be too dry or too wet. So once you have almost like a cookie dough consistency, you're going to spread it out just like this. I used a rolling pin. Now this part's optional. You can either just break it apart and smush it. I decided to use a cookie cutter. And then you just take your dinosaur's feet, or you can always press it in on the side like I'm doing there. And just carefully pull it out. Now there's two options on how you want to go about the next part. So you can lay them on a baking tray and leave them out overnight and let them firm up, and so you can keep them forever. Or what you're going to do is bake them for about 90 minutes to 2 hours at 250 degrees Fahrenheit. You want mom and dad to help out with this, very much so. And then when you're done, you can do what I'm doing, kind of put them in a little bit of sand and pretend to dig them out. You can give them away as presents, or you can just have a cool decoration around your room. Now, I cannot wait to see what you guys come up with and how creative you get with your dinosaur track fossils. But right now, let's dive right into our story for today, which is Library Books Are Not for Eating by Todd Tarpley. Library Books Are Not for Eating by Todd Tarpley, illustrated by Tom Booth. The day Miss Bronte came to school, story time was extra cool. She told great jokes and was never mean, biggest smile you'd ever seen. One small problem, couldn't beat it. Once she read a book, she'd eat it. She'd say, the end, you'd hear a crunch, then 3 or 4 more books by lunch. Miss Bronte, kids would keep repeating, library books are not for eating. Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more, but as soon as story time was done, oops, there'd go another one. Mrs. McSmartly called her in. Miss Bronte, where do I begin? You're eating books. This isn't right. You need to curb your appetite. I think you know where this is leading. Library books are not for eating. Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more. When Miss McSmartly turned her head, she ate up all her books instead. At lunchtime, when she ate 2 more, the lunchroom lady stomped the floor. Miss Bronte, you must change your diet. Books taste yucky, don't deny it. Instead of books, try something new, my cottage cheese and meatball stew. We've got to rearrange your feeding. Library books are not for eating. Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more. She took 1 bite of cottage cheese, then ate 3 books of recipes. She took a walk to clear her head. Down to the soccer field she fled. Coach Burley blew his whistle loudly, pointing to his players proudly. I've got problems of my own, a soccer field that's overgrown. Can't mow the grass, can't pick the weeds. You're not the only one with needs. Be a winner, no more cheating. Library books are not for eating. Miss Bronte promised with a roar that she'd be eating books no more. But as Coach Burley turned his gaze, she ate his book of soccer plays. Miss Bronte packed her bags that day. I'm sorry, but I cannot stay. It's not that I find books so yummy, but nothing else here fills my tummy. If I could find a bulb or seed, a blade of grass, a bush, a weed. Suddenly her plan was clear. She'd make the wild weeds disappear. All she had to do was eat 'em and let her appetite defeat them. Now Ms. Bronte just eats the weeds. They fill her dietary needs. The soccer team has gone unbeaten. Not a single book's been eaten. Every morning right at 9, Ms. Bronte leads the story time. And every afternoon at 4, she's on the sidelines keeping score. The soccer field is good as new. Kids run and kick where weeds once grew. The moral of the tale you're reading: library books are not for eating. A happy tale this might have been, but then they hired Mr. Finn. Have a great day, you guys, and thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys soon. Don't forget to share pictures of your dinosaur fossils with us. Bye-bye!